Tornado. We just touched down anywhere. There's no warning.
Apple got a line. Yes, yes. We went downstairs, everybody. Yeah, up and down. Having fun, up and down. Topsy-turvy.
Everybody,